200. 200 episodes. When we first hit record on that very first episode, we had no idea where this journey would take us. We had no clue if anyone would actually listen, if the stories would resonate, or if the late night editing sessions would ever be worth it. But here we are, 200 episodes later, and we are filled with nothing but gratitude. Retrospect has grown into something we could have never imagined. What started as a simple idea, just a mic, a message, and a little bit of hope, has become a true community. Some of you have been with us since day one. Others just found us last week. But wherever you were when you jumped in, thank you for riding this wave with us. This episode isn't just a milestone. It's a celebration of connection, persistence, and purpose. It's a thank you letter wrapped in audio to every single one of you who made this possible. So whether you're listening on your commute, your couch, or your coffee break, this one's for you.
Welcome to the Retrospect podcast, a show where people come together from different walks of life and discuss a topic from a generation's perspective. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Jason.
Hello, everyone.
And Stoney.
Hello.
Can you believe it?
200 episodes. Guys, and y'all been riding this wave longer than I've been here.
Just a little bit.
Just a fun fact.
Okay.
I know that Jason is our resident statistician or whatever you call him.
Got it.
There are basically 3,609,295 podcasts globally.
Oh my gosh.
We're ranked in the top 5%.
Get out.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's incredible.
We're ranked in the top 5%.
That feels good.
It does. Well, it shows that our hard work and
Yeah.
trying to deliver a product that people like and will listen to and take time out of their day and then show us some gratitude by listening to our episodes. So
Yeah.
it's not easy. You know, I tell people all the time, trying to find a topic to talk about every week is hard.
Harder than you think.
It is. It's eventually you just kind of like scratching your head going, well, what are we going to do next week, guys?
Well, I akin it to becoming an adult. Nobody teaches you when you're becoming an adult that the hardest thing that you're going to do every day is figure out what you're going to eat.
Right.
You know, and that's every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically for us, it's every week we have to come up with a topic that is engaging and fun or serious and thought-provoking.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this little formula you got, and it's just, wow. It is daunting.
And it definitely, like, I think it's also, it's interesting how things have kind of just slowly evolved over the course of the past couple years. This show has started now, gosh, what is it? Is it 4 years now?
4 years.
We've been doing this. That it's like, it's crazy how there's
August. Well, let's see. Is it August?
I
August
think,
will
yeah.
be 4 years.
Let's
So
see,
this is 4. Yeah, 4. We're into 4 years.
Yeah, it's like, it's just interesting how like even the show just changing a little bit over the course of.
Oh, it hadn't changed a little bit.
Well,
Remember those first couple of efforts?
And that's what I'm talking about. But I mean, like,
those
I
were
mean,
so much fun.
A lot of times there's like these kind of checkpoints where things have kind of transitioned or changed and have kind of, like I said, evolved into something different. Where sometimes it isn't so clear. Where it kind of just things have, you know, and then in the recent months now we've been kind of doing some interesting things with some introductions. And I think that it's adding a new like flavor to the already interesting stuff we're talking about. And kind of, again, I like the fact that it's like getting us into what we're talking about a little bit, or kind of, I've been
preparation for the show.
I've been thinking a lot about like intention. So
Right.
I like the fact that like the top of the show, like it feels very intentional that we're like, you know, setting up for something. And that's a new thing we've been doing recently. That's like, and you know, some of the interesting kind of like deeper episodes we've been going into. That's, you know, some more kind of crazy outlandish things I think we like talking about and I think are interesting to. I don't know. I think it's interesting to see how things have kind of molded over these.
Well, when we first started, we had 3 hosts.
Yeah.
And only one person knew what the topic was.
Right, which was fun for a
And
minute.
you just kind of dropped it on the other two, and it's like, oh, wow.
Okay, what are we going to talk about? How are we going to come up with stuff about this?
And I think for the beginning of this show,
That was really
I
fun.
think it was really fun. I think it was a cool concept, and I think it was something that got us off the ground.
Right.
And it was something I think that obviously again
It provided some excitement.
Yeah.
It some it
And I think-
kind of charges the brain a little bit.
and
And
I think-
kind of like what we're going to do here.
for the beginning of the show, we wanted it to be very natural. We wanted it to feel like it was, people coming around and having a conversation about something.
Right.
And what better way than to just like, hey guys, let's talk about this today. And and that's something that's like, oh, okay, well, I guess there's no.
Well, when you have a conversation with your friend, when you get in the car,
Yeah.
and you can tell they got something on their mind,
Yeah.
and they put out this random thing, and
Right.
you're like, you got to deal with it.
Yeah, here's a
well, that's
couple
what
hours.
this was. Our only rule in the beginning was that we were genuine and authentic.
Right.
Well, when you're talking to friends, and our listeners are our friends, so
Right,
and I have a review that I'd like to read here in
Okay,
a little bit.
love that.
But it talks about how this listener engages us, even though we can't hear them.
Yeah.
He's yelling and
Yeah.
hooping and hollering in his car, and
Yeah.
and so it's really a conversation with
love that.
friends. And
Right.
sometimes with your friends, you take them off.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you touch their heart,
Yeah.
but it's still random. Can be random.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what's coming out of this person's mouth
Yeah.
now?
I
'Cause you
think-
never know with me, right?
That's
poor,
right.
The poor editing team. There's no telling what they have to go through for us.
I appreciate Stoney's sense of humor and
Yes.
always ejecting of jokes and
Yeah. A flavor of something.
flavor,
Yeah.
making it light, and because sometimes we get off on some
Yes.
serious stuff. And
Well, great, because I have one for y'all
Stoney,
right now.
Stoney has
Uh-oh.
a way of wrapping it around.
Here you go.
Here we go.
Almond milk. Why is it called almond milk?
I have no clue.
Because there's no person on this planet that can say nut juice and keep a straight face.
There you go. It's very true. I think it'd be having a different kind of a grocery aisle experience.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be looking at that differently now.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that the
Something
show,
you can't unsee.
the beginning of the beginning of what this show became, I think was what it was, a chapter in this show's history. But I think as the show has progressed, obviously it's like, well, we need to, I think, be a little more intentional. We can still have a natural flowing conversation.
Sure. I mean, you never get rid of that.
Right. But I think the thing was that we didn't want it to feel we wanted it to be authentic as possible. And what better way than to just like drop it right here. But
Right there.
sometimes having a little bit of preparation is a little better for I think a longer lasting
I can
conversation.
understand that.
So, but over the course of these past 200 episodes, but over just the last 100, I started looking back, and I didn't realize how far back 100 episodes spanned for us, and how it spans back to 2023. And I was looking at it, and I was interested to see that if we're going from episode 101 to the previous episode or today's episode, it started off with the United Cajun Navy with Todd Terrell.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
And
Wow.
then in that time span, we had a lot of people that we got involved, and so I was interested to look back at all the different like featured guests that we had on the podcast. And in that year of like 2023, 2024, we had a lot of guests on the show and a lot of great conversations with people. And I didn't realize that was in that 101 to 199 range that we're talking about here today. That was like, wow, that was and again, just talking about the evolution of the show and how things have slowly changed and how things that was another kind of chapter mark. I feel like we're like that year that was just so many interesting conversations with, and I think we've talked about this on the show before, but I just thought it was interesting to look back on it in a different way of like, even that was just an interesting little chapter of the show.
Well, y'all's original, X-Man. I mean, he brought a degree of energy that made the show. Everybody has their kind of own unique contribution they make to the show, and I remember when I first started listeing to y'all and they're pretty good, and it's interesting stuff. I remember when Stoney even approached me about this.
Yeah.
So it's funny how things work. Who knows? Maybe if X-Men, if things would have been different, X-Men would still be doing the show.
Yeah.
And I might be just an occasional guest.
But it is crazy now that now we're in a different space now where I think you've been on the show longer than you haven't been.
Right.
Which is a cool thing to think about as well.
Yeah.
Like, man,
I think what episode did I think it was the
57.
So yeah.
What
Okay,
makes a
you got
serial killer?
What
Back
it
on
was
August,
it was
the Halloween, the Halloween
Oh,
episode.
wow, dude.
October 31st,
22.
22.
Wow.
Yeah, how things have changed.
Yeah. Even in just our own lives. I mean, like you in the recent history, now being engaged and having gone and even running around the world literally.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's been I'm telling you, it's
just in these
she's now in the house, so we're now officially together, and
there you go.
so she's it's been exciting. Just actually for the first time in my life to actually have someone in my house. I mean, it's a bit surreal for me, but yeah, it's been great. I mean, she's a wonderful human being.
Awesome.
I love her to death. And
this October, this Halloween is going to make 3 years you've been a part of this show.
Yeah,
and just how much. I know my life has changed in the past 3 years, but how much
that's right.
for you
Think
as
about
well.
what was going on with you 3 years ago. What was going on with me 3 years ago?
that's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
it's. I never thought I'd be in this. I never thought I'd be doing a podcast. I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
And 3 years ago for me, I was having brain surgery.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
You both retired and got rehired.
that's right. I mean,
That's
my
crazy.
life has gone completely. It's amazing how much things have changed. But I have thoroughly enjoyed being a part of this show. I think really think we put out a good product. I really do. And just based on what I've heard, just people genuinely enjoy listening to us, and that's a testament to us. I mean, it really is. We obviously are resonating out there. There's some energy that people are picking up on,
Right.
Which is great. And we just got to keep moving forward and putting out good stuff, and who knows where this thing could go.
Especially with video possibly in the future.
Oh, that's always a possibility, and it's just unfortunately cameras and stuff like that cost money.
Okay, well, it's more so the fact that I'm a little picky, I think, is the big thing. Is I want it to be done really well.
Well, and
we could get it done.
That's admirable. I mean, it really is, because I would rather someone wanting it to look right than just haphazardly throwing up something.
We could throw.
I
something
appreciate
together.
that. I appreciate that desire for perfection. I really do. I mean, it's just
But we also can't let that completely hold us back either.
Right. Which I think this the dynamics that we have, especially between the three of us, I think has been really nice, because I in my own life, I need people like that to push, because if I don't have things perfect, a lot of times I get
bogged down.
Yeah. Well, I get stuck.
Yeah.
And that's when it gets hard.
I mean, that kind of sometimes I hate to say it happens to me sometimes like that. It's paralysis starts setting in, because it's like since I can't have this, then I'm like I'm stuck.
Yes.
And I can't think of the alternative, So, but as I said, and we'll work toward that and get all that equipment.
Another chapter in the show. Show's upcoming future.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I mean, video that changes the show altogether.
Yeah.
I mean, it really would. I believe just kind of an audio format, there's a certain amount of energy that goes with it. Video is a different type of energy, just because we're visual creatures. We like to see things, versus just hear things.
Yeah.
So it's definitely would be a different vibe. And our challenge would be is basically taking the energy, the great energy that we put out now, translating that into a video where it looks visually appealing.
Right.
It looks like you know what you're talking about. You're putting out good stuff. People are like, kind of tilting that head, going, I want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm definitely. I think about that quite a bit. Trust me.
I want to try. I the more I think about video, and again that next transition, I think about reimagining the space that we're currently in the studio. I think it works really well for the audio-based platform that we have. But I think that for video, it needs to be laid out.
It would
need
to be different. It would have to be.
That's why we have another studio.
You're right. You're right.
We have another studio.
Do you think we'll probably need? I would think probably green screens. Do we need that? You think?
If we want to,
and the reason I say because I was reading somewhere where people do employ them, and they can make the backgrounds whatever they want.
We could
cameras.
I do think that like having a solid backdrop would be nice. Something that we could potentially have, like we could hang things on, or like a whiteboard or something. So something physical, I think, would be kind of cool. Or so I've been thinking of some ideas, and I think, like I said, trying to adjust this space and see how it would kind of look different, and moving forward, how that would be. How we could utilize the space better for like a quote unquote set, like a, because right now it's like I said, it's set up for an audio based system. It doesn't really look quite as glamorous as it could.
Exactly.
I mean, so but it's like I said, I have ideas, and I think we're working towards it. So, but
so guys, I would really like to maybe hear about y'all's early beginnings.
Okay.
Yeah. What how y'all came about and.
Some dummy went, hey, let's do a podcast.
How did this whole thing get kind of even the idea get off the ground? I mean,
we had
y'all were here.
We had there was a point in time where X-Men, Stoney and myself, we were all a part of this kind of like it was like a Bible study group. Kind of was like what it originally started as, and it was during the pandemic, so like we were doing it digitally, so we were doing like, live streaming type stuff and whatnot, and like we were all together doing that. So it was a small team because again we had to be restricted on how many people and in a space and masks and et cetera, et cetera. And so then it got to be really interesting because we had a great like pre and post conversation as like on top of already what like the actual study itself was on, and then that conversation was like, man, that actually, of course, Stoney made the joke about he said some dummy, I won't say that, he chimed in and was like, hey,
well, the pandemic was coming to a close, so there was not necessary to continue that platform,
that format
for this Bible study,
right,
and so we were coming up to one of the last ones, or it was the last, I don't remember, and we were like, well, I guess this is it, and I just went, well, why don't we do a podcast?
Yeah.
And somebody went, well, it just so happens I got the stuff.
Yep.
And it just turned into that.
Yeah.
And we talked about how we were going to do it. And
I had, like I do with a lot of things in this space and in my creative job, like already, I had a couple of sessions of me sitting down and kind of brainstorming some things, and then I had when I normally am coming up with like creative design stuff, I like have a little like a bullet point list of like things that I'm like ideas of stuff, and in that note I had like probably something like 6 or 7 like name ideas for like what I thought the show could be called, because we like had an idea of like we're all different generations, we have different perspectives, like what would be a cool thing that we could do that could be again, we're trying to figure out what, like we are 3 guys that like to talk and like to communicate with, and all kinds of things. Like what could our show be? And that was where I was trying to like kind of more narrow down this broad idea into like something that's more concrete. And I was like, okay, well, if we're just going to be talking about anything, we can like, what's a cool premise? And that's when I started coming up with the idea for like, our ideas for names, and a few of them. I don't think I have the note anymore. I haven't actually checked, in a while, but I can.
It's been 4 years.
It's been a while. I may have it buried somewhere, but I think it was like, it was like it was a lot of names that I think were in the same vein of this, but like wasn't quite as snappy Like I think it was like In My Eyes or Looking Back or like things like that, things in the same kind of vein of it. And I think I was in the shower one day and I was thinking of a couple names. I think I thought of like 2 or 3, and I thought it was like, oh, like Retrospect. That's a cool like one word, snappy, gets the point across, and I think it also is the definition of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be like looking back on our lives, or like looking back in history and talking about things or from our experience and all that. And that's kind of like the foundation of like, I like I said, again, a lot of times what I do with creative things like this is I ask people around me. So I'm like, so I have this idea, hear me out. What if, guys talk about this, blah, 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 blah. And what about like this name? And people would be like, that's pretty cool. And every time I said, what about Retrospect? They're like, oh, wow, that's cool. And that's when I got like 3 or 4 confirmations on that, I was like, okay, I feel pretty good about this. And I think I sat down and like made like a little mock-up design of what the logo is now, but it was different. And I sat down with Stoney and X-Man and said, okay, guys, what do you think about Retrospect? And here's like a little logo. And they both were like, oh, yeah, this is cool. And I was like, okay, great. I feel they were on board with it. I was on board with it. And then, of course, we set like what we wanted, the date and time for the show to debut and all the like logistic things. So I went back into my cave and started getting all the like background stuff all set up and everything. And then before you know it, I think it was within a handful of weeks we were recording our first episode, our humble beginnings, quote unquote, which is still, I think, a really popular episode of ours from what I can see.
They're going to start at the beginning. They're going to start with that one.
You're right. And so that's and that like he said, that was 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's insane.
It is crazy to think about, but yeah, I've thought about changing up the logo potentially. And
it was the jingle for me that got me.
Yeah,
it's the jingle that
yeah.
got me. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, it just was. It was something that invoked some sort of feeling in me.
I'm glad.
It's very difficult. I remember when I first started listening to you all, I was like, that's really catchy. It really is. Something about it. It's making me feel good, making me want to listen, you know? So
I love hearing that because, again, whenever I'm by myself and I'm isolated, I try to have like I try to look at this from the perspective of someone that has not been so heavily involved in it. And so when I was finding music that I thought would be cool or catchy, I was trying to find some things that I think were a little more like synth based, a little bit more kind of had that like quote unquote retro feel, which I think now technically the 90s and early 2000s is considered retro, which is scary. But like that kind of like 80s synth vibe was like something that's very reminiscent of like looking back and something nostalgic and that kind of stuff. And so when I found a couple of songs, that was the one I think I landed on. The Author is Dead, I think is what it's called, by Nihilor. I was like, okay, when I was feeling it, I was like, okay, this is a cool vibe. This is what I think is what the show is going to feel like. And I'm glad that you said that because it helps reinforce the fact that like, okay, so I feel like some people get it, which I'm glad.
I liked everything. I loved the logo. I loved the jingle.
You must have liked it. You stuck around after you
stuck
said,
around.
I'll do one episode.
Yeah, I didn't know exactly how this thing was going to go. I didn't know.
I'm not going to say it's like the guest that would never leave, but you just stuck around and that was it.
Around. Look, y'all could have given. I mean, I remember when y'all were basically, seeing who would be the
like a little trial run,
trial run to see and. I'm lucky I was able to make enough of an impact or a contribution to stay around, and I love it when we have a fourth guest on the show. It also brings another little layer of information to our to the show. So, and we're hoping in the future we'll have a few more of those.
Yeah, I love that. Because it's very real what you said. It's like, again, it was a trial run where we were like, obviously you were like, I don't know if I want to, I'm not sure about this.
I didn't know if I was going to commit.
Right.
And because it is a commitment to do this.
Not only that, but it's also like, we don't know if we're going to jive well or we're going to work well together. So it's like, that's the hard part is like having not only like the commitment, but also having like some sort of, I guess some sort of rapport, but also like a way that we all can communicate well together in some way, because that's what the show is.
Yeah, I remember I was, I worked, with
Yeah.
Stoney, and I remember somehow a topic came up, and I started talking about all that weird stuff, and
I remember that you told me about that.
Stoney's
Yeah.
goes, you do good on the show, I'm like, I'm into all that kind of weird type of.
And it just so happens we need another host.
Yeah, so it worked out. It provided me an opportunity to talk about things I love to talk about that you really can't have. Sometimes you can't really have those
Right.
conversations with you're kind of your other, you're kind of what I would call your other circles of friends and family that kind of look at you like, I don't want to hear about all this, but
there's certain passions and hobbies and things we like to talk about. There's certain things that I love. People love listening to me play music. I like to talk about music a lot of times, and I love to talk about the complexities of it and the human emotion side of it and the art and the expression. I love all that stuff about music. But I've realized that people don't want to hear me talk about music. They just play the music. I'm like,
right.
Okay, yes. So that's the same sort of thing where it's like sometimes I had to be careful whenever I get within certain crowds of people that also love to talk and appreciate music in a way, because I'm like, oh, we'll be here all day.
Right.
So yeah, but that's the same.
Well, and that's the thing. You're pretty. You nailed the production side of it. You've got that. But Jason and I have kind of delved into what would it be? The producing side. Is that the right nomenclature for
guess.
that?
Well,
coming up with the
guests
and coming up with the titles.
The logistical side of things.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is, for me, has been really interesting because I was in private sector protective services for 24 years. I broke things. Knee, a leg, an eyeball, whatever. I broke things. That's what I did. And now I get to be part of, and y'all know how much I hate that terminology, content creator.
Right.
But guess what?
Yeah.
That's what.
Now we're part of that content creation. And
that's right.
That to me has just been fascinating. And I've been taking some lessons to help cognitively. Number one, the neuropsych said I need to continue to try to learn things and push my brain, because I'm basically losing 10% of my memory every year, and cognitively, I don't want to go down any further.
All right.
So they want me to continue to learn.
Exercise.
At one time after the accident, I was going to stop even doing the podcast. And I talked to Hottie Dr. Miranda and the neuropsych and a couple other people, and they said, no, you really need to keep doing this. You enjoy it. It stimulates your brain. That's the best thing you can do. And so for me, that kind of aspect, I'm taking some lessons from Ian on the production side, and that's fascinating. But also, like we were joking earlier, coming up with the episodes and guests and the study behind it. It used to be before the accident, I had everything in my head.
Yeah.
And now I come in with a stack of notes and the little notepad. I'm always, please, help me stay relevant. And I'm like, wait a minute. When did I start worrying about being relevant?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right.
But really, I need to work on this a little better, and
Just
type on it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It helps me. And listening and contacting some of the listeners, it helps them too.
Yeah.
And they get a lot from it. I remember that one lady that wrote me after our history of gaming episode.
Yes.
And she said, I hate gaming. My husband and my sons, that's all they want to do is game. And she says, so y'all pop up this episode about gaming. I didn't want to listen, but I want to support y'all.
Right.
So she listened to it, and she realized some of the things that make gaming attractive to people. And she said she listened to it, and she pondered it and thought about it and dissected it in her head. And she went to her husband and sons with a different attitude, which allowed them to kind of have a different attitude.
Right.
And they had a better relationship.
Love that.
And I like that. See, that made me happy hearing that. I love hearing. When y'all write in, I love that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That one lady that wrote in about, she wanted to be somebody's Miranda, our first big
Yes, I remember
review.
that.
Oh, yeah.
That was just amazing to me.
I remember, what was it, that episode with the that kind of generated some controversy. Some of the comments I made regarding the
yes.
remember that,
I
regarding
do.
that episode with that poor girl who got abducted, or not really. She kind of went off with him, and then unfortunately, that terrible things happened to her, and she got run over.
Madison Brooks,
yes, and I remember some of the controversy of some of the things that I said that I figured any well-meaning father would have told their daughter, but it's amazing how certain perspectives on people and everything is kind of colored through a certain lens, and so. But I mean, I remember that episode. That was I think very fondly on that because I felt like that was really good there. I think we put out some good information. That was good discussion.
Yeah.
It's hard. I just thought it was a real deep episode.
It's hard whenever we have. Sometimes it's hard to say this, but sometimes like whenever there's episodes like that are very poignant and very like, sometimes it's nice to talk about it. And yes, there's like we have a public forum here, and I think that people do listen to our opinions on things, and a lot of people don't like some of our opinions, and vice versa or whatever. But I feel like a lot of times those, I don't know, it gives me a chance to, like you were saying, stay connected and stay a little bit more relevant as to what's going on around me, and hear people's perspectives and get feedback on things, even though a lot of times it's hard to talk about that sort of stuff. But
would y'all like to hear from?
I'm very curious.
Yes.
I'd heard. About this review, and I've been waiting.
Here we go. I just wanted to start off by thanking you guys for putting the show together. I may have started listening more recently, but it has become part of my routine and something that I look forward to every week, like Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, fun!
I know, right? I want to share a few things I enjoy about the show. One of my favorite parts of the show when I'm listening is I feel like I am there. I add to the conversation myself, even though I know you guys can't hear me. The different points of view from the show really help me create a nice getting into someone else's shoes perspective when everyone gets to put in their input, and I haven't heard one so cohesive or positive in a long time.
Wow.
I was raised in a multi-generational household and heard multiple points of views while growing up. The show feels almost like my own thought process. It's greatly constructive and overall positive. I am also a huge conspiracy person and still love hearing the day-to-day kind of episodes just the same. When I listen to them, I'm not sure if it's me paying more attention to my life or just a coincidence that they become relevant pretty soon after.
Wow.
Also, the exits are a warm touch, encouraging and interaction of viewers, having great thought-provoking questions or even some encouragement for the week. I hope others feel the same way and keep spreading and sharing the show. I really think this is something great for the world and for the people involved. You guys are amazing, and all the hard work shows off. Best wishes and best of luck. I look forward to hearing you guys every week. Joe from Texas.
Wow.
That's nice.
Thank you, Joe.
A long one.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you,
I appreciate that. That's really awesome to hear.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
That just drives me crazy.
It's amazing how widespread we are now. I don't know what the latest numbers are.
We are in 60 countries and over 1,020 cities across the world.
That's unbelievable.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we crossed over what was it you showed me the other day, Stoney, when I was over
we
your
went
place?
Over 20,000.
Over 20,000 throughout the like downloads throughout the entire history of the show. That's crazy to think about. That there's
that many people interested in hearing what we have to say.
Yeah, and that's just downloads. That's not listens.
That's
it's
right.
A whole different. Yeah, we're almost at 22,000 downloads.
Wow, that's crazy.
The metrics of how they do listens are different than the downloads. The downloads are, and please download them for us because it helps us. It's a specific download or a listen to the whole show.
Right.
Not just listening to half of it and then tomorrow listening. It's a one sit down listen.
Yeah.
So you're helping us if you listen in the show for half your ride into work and half back, but it counts for downloads if you listen to the whole show or download it.
It's interesting.
So if you're going on a trip, download them on your phone or your little iPad, because then you can listen to them on the plane or the train a long drive.
It's great to hear from, like you said, it's great to hear from the people, because it's obviously we do this every week, and I think we each individually get something different out of it. But it's really cool to put a name to a number. One of those hundreds of people that listen to this show is right there and really showed some appreciation, and that was really awesome to see that. Like, there's people listening to this show, because sometimes for me at least, because I'm doing all the production side of the thing, I get a little bit in my own little space and I can't see, or I can't. It is just numbers on a screen, but it's very different to hear firsthand from them. I was going to say, for you, it was interesting to, over these past few years, to see, Stoney, your ebb and flow throughout all the stuff you've been through, and of course, the highs and the lows, and now, where we are now. It's like, man, it's crazy to see how each of our lives have changed, and crazy.
Well,
yeah, it's something.
We are, as I said, it's. I think we've done a really good job of really kind of reading our audience, kind of figuring out what are the things that they want to hear. I think we do a great job of balancing out the silly with the serious and everything in between. I tell people all the time, I said, when they ask about the podcast, I said, we cover everything from women's health to crisis on the Mexican United States border. So, and everything in between we cover everything. We don't want to pigeonhole ourselves into a kind of certain genre, which many podcasts are.
Right.
We're not. We want to be as versatile as we can, because we understand there's going to be some episodes that people are just not too interested in that, and then others will be like, yeah, I'm really interested in that. So I would definitely like to try to even increase our kind of our range there of topics, and I would love to possibly get some more ladies on and work, kind of cater to some of that audience, because I know a lot of ladies listen to us, and but sometimes it's just there are some topics that are better, they flow better when you actually have the expert here with you talking, instead of us trying to figure out things that we really don't really have any life experience with. A lot of topics you can do some good Google searching and read some books or something along those lines, and kind of get a good feel for the information. Other things, it's best to actually have an expert here. Right. I would love to do an episode on dreams.
Oh yeah.
But dreams, that's a very complex topic. And, I would love for us to be able to find someone who would be an expert in that. Right. The question is where do you find that? And anybody out there that knows of someone that maybe specializes in that, or that we can reach out to, please leave us that information. We will try to do our best to maybe get them on the phone or something along those lines. So
I got a couple I want to tease with us too. For maybe some future ones. I was thinking about the great blackout. What happens when the lights go out for good?
Okay.
Because they talk about China or Russia. Well, the first thing they're going to hit is our infrastructure.
No, that would make sense.
What would happen?
We would do the same with them.
Yeah. Another one I'd like to talk about is the disappearing middle class.
Yes.
Because that's right now, that's where we are, the disappearing middle class.
That's very relevant to what people are experiencing right now.
How about this one? Digital ghosts. what happens to our information after we die?
Oh yeah, that's scary stuff.
That would be interesting.
Yep. And then one of a realm that we've kind of touched on before, Nostradamus versus AI predictions.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's,
yeah.
that's some good stuff there.
I saw a clip recently where someone asked, I think it was ChatGPT, like if you were to like take over and control the world, how would you do it? Like describe it in like so many steps or whatever. And of course the AI goes into like three different phases of a plan. And by the time the AI is done talking, both of the guys are sitting there going,
that's what's happening
now. We're already halfway through that plan. And it's like,
Yes.
oh, that's scary stuff to think about. So
another one I'd like to do is the psychology of panic buying.
okay.
Yeah.
I think that would be, generationally,
Yes.
that has
I
a
think
lot
there's
of
some
impact.
really good topics there.
The age of deception, a generational look at propaganda, fake news, and how to trust the media has evolved or devolved.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I think that would be fun for us. And then I saw this article, and then I kind of researched it a little bit. Something that during my time was kind of important to people, but kind of isn't now. But time capsules and forgotten messages.
Right.
Yes.
That's interesting.
I would like to kind of, because you kind of see what, and maybe what we would put in our time capsule, just a little discussion. And then I saw a video the other day about this blue ice that fell from the sky. And so I thought, when the sky fell, strange things that have fallen from above.
There you go.
And
That's
maybe
fun.
we could, from frogs, fish, metal debris, and more, just the weird history of unexplained things that have fallen from the sky.
Crazy.
I said, that one kind of could be fun.
yeah.
So maybe some teasing. If y'all like some of these, let us know. And
I've got some family who are very involved in the very serious topic of domestic abuse
Really?
and children that are kind of been abandoned and mothers in desperate need. I've got some family that are very involved in this world. She operates a nonprofit.
Wow.
That it was her and her husband that single-handedly has built an incredible facility with the sole purpose of helping people in these type of situations.
Wow.
My goal is to have her on here in another couple months.
Yeah.
and that goes in the same vein of when we had Father
Jeff Bahi.
Jeff Bahi come
Yeah.
on talking about human trafficking and abuse and things like that.
So this is going to be a very interesting. I think people will find it very fascinating and just awe-inspired about what she has been able to accomplish.
Right.
So I think people will very much enjoy that. That would be a good topic.
That's awesome. I'm still amazed that some of our most listened to episodes have been with Mr. Brandon Iglesias.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's what people want to hear right now.
I get it, but that stuff it's hard for me to.
He's so smart in the top, that material is very dense. It takes a lot to unpack to kind of understand it, and but I mean, hell, who knows? Maybe we'll have him back on again. Because
so far
more of that stuff is still out there. It'd be very interesting to see now with AI how all that might play into kind of some of the stuff he was talking about. So, yeah.
I think it's so interesting that out of a majority of our episodes, he is among the top 5 most of all of our episodes.
Believe it or not, I saw him on another podcast, an Italian podcast.
Okay.
So so who knows? Maybe we gave him some exposure that the other people are like picking up on and saying, let's bring this guy on because he's very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is. He's a good guy, and he's definitely gotta have some head scratching stuff. Yeah, good stuff.
It's crazy.
We're moving pretty good. I mean, we really are. I mean, I feel good about where we're at, where we're going. As I said, the video front, eventually we will get there. I have no doubt in my mind we will be there. We just have to keep on cranking out good stuff, and and who knows, we might get our big break.
The more and more I've looked on different platforms, there's different ways for people to comment nowadays.
Right.
Spotify has functionalities for it now. YouTube has easy comment sections to access. I don't believe there's anything on Apple Podcasts that does that.
I don't think.
But I've been trying recently to add allow the notifications for those places, so whenever we do get a comment, I can see it more quickly but yeah, so that's I've been looking I'm really interested to hear from people as far as what different suggestions for things, or just what has this show meant to you, and or whatever. I'm curious. I want to see people get involved in different ways.
We've really expanded our footprint. I mean, we're on all the major group. I mean, now I think the latest one was Pandora.
Right.
So that's huge.
Well, Pandora and iHeart don't take everybody, and we're on both of them.
Yeah.
So
that's good
fascinating.
To hear. So nice.
Keep smashing the like button and
subscribe
and give us 5 stars and all that good stuff.
It really helps us out. And as you guys hit those buttons and hit those 5 stars for us, it helps push it out. It helps I remember when I was having the conversation with somebody who was in town from Japan, served in the military, and he had already seen the show as one of his recommended shows when he was in Japan.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
That just blew my mind. And he said it was first or second on the list, and that's because of you guys.
Yep.
We just talk.
Right. Well,
that kind of stuff happens because y'all are, like Jason said, smashing the buttons. Well, keep smashing them. Share them with your friends. Share them with your family. Even if you don't like us, share it. Get somebody else that hates us too, because we can handle it.
I recently had some discussions with people that have been in this space, content creation stuff, and one thing that they had said, one thing that was a big part of the conversation that people were having a struggle with was the algorithm being able to put their content in front of the people that want to hear it or want to see it. And they had said consistency is the big thing.
I was just fixing to go into
that. You can do a variety of things, but do it on a different channel or something or whatever. Because they were saying if you're going to start something, if you're going to have a show or do something, try and keep it consistent. Try to keep the same thing going or the same kind of thing going. So that way, the algorithm really knows what you are and can really bring it out to the people that want it. So if you're liking and if you're engaging and commenting and doing those kind of things, not only will it give this show, but I think it'll also give you shows like ours, because the algorithm is super good, and it'll also give our show to people that are also in that space. That's how that's what I've learned about the algorithm. And I was so whenever everyone else was saying oh, well, I've done this and this and this, and on that one channel or whatever, I'm we've been doing one thing pretty well for 4 years, and I think that's why. When
we started researching this, consistency was the number one thing. If you're going to do it once a week, stay with once a week. Now, my dumb ass has busted my head, opened my, and we've had to
life happens.
Post some stuff, and we apologize for that. But and from that review that we had earlier, you look forward to us every week.
Yeah.
Popping out something different, and you like that consistency for us. Well, we like the consistency. If you could smash that button, if you could like it, help us out. If you're listening to us, hit that button. Give that each episode 5 stars. Give the show 5 stars.
Yeah,
do some stuff. Help us out, and
appreciate it.
We want to do good jobs for y'all. and that would really help us out.
Yeah, let us know, what are your favorite episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Go back and give us some comments. Who knows? Maybe we can revisit some of these old episodes. Maybe there's some new information we could talk about.
Remember that happened with the Madison Brook episode.
Right.
We recorded, excuse me. Here we go with the brain damage again. We recorded on a Thursday. Friday morning is when all the gang rape thing came out.
Right.
And so we had to do a whole nother second episode just to catch up on that.
Right.
So,
there's a lot of things out there. I think about one of my favorite episodes. I've kind of been thinking about what are some of the great shows that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I love dealing with, what was it? Was it Frequencies?
Okay, yeah.
That was probably one of my favorite episodes because I found it very, very interesting. Just kind of like how something so simple could have a profound impact on our society.
I also think we had kind of jokingly made mention at one point in time for us kind of taking kind of inspiration from the other show that I do, and like we all watch a movie or watch something that's
I'd love to do that,
relevant to what we talk about, and then discuss it here on the show, and then potentially like maybe even tell people the week in advance. That way they could also watch it and listen along.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. We got all kind of different ideas that we can do for future episodes, and I would be very much for that. All of us get together, watch a show, and kind of do a joint,
thoughts and feelings,
a collab.
That'd be fun.
So I think that would be great. I would enjoy that very much.
Yeah,
have to find a good show to watch.
Of course, I think that'd be. I mean, there's a lot.
Because I know Stoney and I have told you about a ton of different movies that you need to put in your repertoire of stuff to pull from to go review, but they got some good ones.
They do.
They really do.
But yeah. So, anyways, anything else you guys want to touch on before
I think that's it.
We land this,
guys? It's been fun.
It has.
It really has. I want to thank everyone out there who listens to us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes,
for making us a part of your life, and we will continue to produce good content, and we hope we remain a viable podcast that you continue to enjoy. So
I agree. I second everything he said. We've already gave you all the calls to action to do. So with all that being said, until next week, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone, and God bless.
Thank you for being part of this ride. Whether you've been here since the start or just found us last week, you're the reason we keep showing up and do this. Here's to the past 200 episodes and to the next 200. Stay curious, keep looking back, because sometimes the past has the best stories. And if you've enjoyed this ride, help us take it even further. Share the show with a friend, leave us a review, and hit that like or follow button. You're the most important part of the Retrospect podcast. Together, we can take these conversations to the rest of the world. You're the best. Peace.